This is the Simulation Football League, presented by APM Music on YouTube. Tonight, we will crown the Central Division champion. Both these two teams need Indianapolis to lose tonight in order for them to potentially claim the Central Division title for themselves. It's the Minnesota Legend taking on the Tulsa Desperados. Hello and good evening, folks. Welcome to Lucy Red Energy Drink Stadium here in Tulsa, Oklahoma. I am Tyler Falk, happy to have your company. Also, I'm alongside my best friend from the Great White North. It's Mr. Brett Solberg. Brett, everything on the line tonight. No matter what happens, for the first time since these divisions came out, all the way back since the expansion era, or the latest expansion era, there will be a division title going to a team below 500.
And right now for both these teams, they have to drown out whatever's happening 15 minutes from now in the Indianapolis-Sioux Falls game, and they have to focus on the here and now. Both teams need a win. Both teams desire the win. And more importantly, both these teams need to figure out what has been going wrong for them this season to get to this point and fix it starting this game. It starts tonight. Who's going to show up, Tyler?
Minnesota will kick us off to begin matters here in Oklahoma, as here we go. Final week of the regular season, a division title on the line. And here comes Gabriel Manning, the always dangerous wide receiver return man, and he gets it all the way up to the 31-yard line, and that is where JQ will start his opening possession under center for the Desperados.
And what JQ simply needs to do here is that he needs to convert his yards to touchdowns, his completions to touchdowns. He's sixth amongst quarterbacks coming this week in completions, 196. He is top 10 in quarterbacks, over 2,500 yards, but he's only got 14 touchdowns. He needs to convert those into TDs to help Tulsa here tonight.
So the first play from scrimmage for the Tulsa offense will be an I formation. In the backfield, Douglas Brown and Scott Powell divide carries, and they will go to Douglas Brown out the left-hand side. He is brought down by Buster Johnson, the defensive tackle, as we introduce you to the Desperados offense. We just mentioned JQ, the quarterback, with Douglas Brown and Scott Powell at halfback. Lars Bazar is the fullback. Wide receivers are led by Gabriel Manning, Ian Francis, DJ Hume, Sanzo Robinson. Tight ends are DJ Bandit and Marquise Sango. And on the line, leading the way in the trenches, is Phoebe Collins, the left guard, as the carry again from Brown is actually going to be pushed backward as Cody Griffin comes up with the stop.
Yeah, and this has been the problem for Tulsa's running game all season. You do have a star guard out there in Phoebe Collins, but the offensive line has not done enough to give Douglas Brown enough opportunities like you see here.
Tulsa is at 55% on third downs this season, as Q will look deep over the middle, wide open. Sanzo Robinson nearly gone, but they flip the field to near the 30-yard line of Minnesota.
And there's the explosiveness that Tulsa has wanted to have all season. You know, they've always been identified by the run game and the special teams, and it hasn't been a lot through the past, but this season they've done a great job in turning things around, especially through the arm of JQ, and more importantly, these receivers get open, like we saw from the 6'2", 205 Sanzo Robinson.
So all the way up to the 36-yard line go the Desperados offense. Now a quick hitter left side to Gabe Manning, and they are seemingly trying to target Cody Griffin. That's the third tackle for Griffin early in this ball game.
Yeah, and it might not be a bad battle, especially if it's a one-on-one between Cody Griffin and Gabriel Manning, because any analyst out there, any expert in the SFL will tell you, advantage Gabriel Manning no matter what the situation.
Fifth play of the drive here for Tulsa as they come out with two tight ends and two backs in the backfield. And Douglas Brown left side trying to push his lineman forward. Will gain 2.5 as Mark Mello comes up with a stop. Let's meet the rest of that legend defense. Mark Mello, Angela Meerkat, Max Knight, Brookie Burr, Buster Johnson, and Exo Raven are the defensive linemen. Stephen Black, Miles Gibson, Jason Clay, and Juan Mississippi are the linebackers. Nicholas Frossel, Johnny Bravo, Cody Griffin, Rick Evans are the corners, with Daniel Wright and Derek Meerkat at safety as they try and stop a 3rd and inches from the 26-yard line as Douglas Brown punches through the offensive line and picks up the first down near the 21-yard line.
Yeah, and at this point, if they can get their passing game going, this is what Douglas Brown needs to do here. Get those 5-6 yards and secure first downs in close down situations. They don't need him to play pretty if JQ can be hot as he has been in this first drive.
So they come back to the line. They love this split back look here in their offense. 8 men in the box here for Minnesota as Brown gets the call again. Gets through one would-be tackler and is taken down by Jason Clay, the rookie out of Lincoln.
And we've seen a lot of off-tackle stretch plays this season from a lot of teams. And the difference that a lot of these other teams get that turn into these successful plays is the additional blocking of their wide receivers. We didn't see that on this play, which resulted in only 4 yards.
2nd and 6 now here for Tulsa. Just inside the red zone, they run a pitch play. Left side, Brown gets a 1 block, but Mello is there to bring him down after a good pickup. It brings up 3rd and 3.
If he can just stretch himself a little bit more to the outside, he would have had space for that first down. But maybe the agility was not there on that play at least. But it's still a short down situation here, 3rd and 3.
They try and run up the middle. No, play action, Q. Near side, caught on the run into the breadbasket for the tight end, DJ Bandit. Touchdown, Desperados.
And a quick first strike here from Tulsa as they get inside the red zone and they say 3rd and 3. The run game hasn't worked yet. Let's go to our red zone threat tight end option. He runs a quick slant, a quick corner over to the sidelines there. It was tight end versus linebacker. The tight end won. Tulsa strikes first at Lucy Red.
And how about that? They have one of the bottom 5 offenses in terms of red zone scoring, converting under 80%. But today, to get matters started off on the right foot, and they hook up with DJ Bandit for an opening strike touchdown after a 9-play, 69-yard drive, all totaling 3 minutes, 37 seconds on the clock. And DJ Bandit has us on the board as he waves to us and maybe to his mom. Back at home from Lucy Red. Now, how do the legend respond? They get a chance to return this kickoff from Brooke Brown. 2 yards deep in his own end zone. Here comes the return man here for Minnesota. Woman return man all the way up to the 25-yard line.
And right now, we have to see what Minnesota is going to bring to the table here. They are well known for using Colin Hart to his maximum capacity here. Johnny Reno has had an all right season so far, but the interceptions have killed him over the last 6 weeks.
First and 10 here for Johnny Reno, the quarterback, as he looks to throw over the middle on the hash marks. It's hauled in by Jay Taylor over across his own 45-yard line. That's a good opening statement from this Minnesota offense.
Yeah, and Tulsa brought the heat early with a 4-4 and brought about 6 to the line there, and the lineman did a great job to get protection for Reno so that he can just stay patient and look for his men. And Jay Taylor gets himself open in front of look to be Travis Arthur, if I'm not mistaken, on there to get the first down.
A good sneaky little catch there on the first play of the drive. Sets up play number 2 with 3 wide receivers. Try and run with Colin Hart, who tries and drags Travis Arthur and company forward for 11 more yards and a first down.
And there's the capability you see from Colin Hart. He can single-handedly win a game on his own. We've seen it in the early stages of the season. Teams have started to figure out how he plays, and they've eliminated the passing game in certain aspects, so they just forced Minnesota into a one-dimensional game. If they can get both aspects of the offense going, this could spell doom for Tulsa's defense.
First and 10 again, play number 3 of the drive. I formation, they try and run up the gut again with Hart. He breaks through 1 tackle, maybe 2. Tony Roberto is there to bring him down as we introduce you to the legend offense. Halfback Colin Hart with wide receivers Vin Calia, Jay Taylor, Deezer Powell, and Queg Mam. Tight ends are Jay Hayden and Viva La France, Jason France. And on the line, leading the way in the trenches, it's the guard, Dusty Wilson. 2nd and 7 from the 41-yard line. 2 tight end look out of Minnesota as back to pass, looking right side is incomplete. Deezer Powell, the man was there. The ball bobbles after the hit, jars the ball free, incomplete.
And a little bit of soft zone from Tulsa that we could see there as the 4th linebacker, played by Marco Swift, the strong safety, stayed back on the sides to at least be a little bit of a hamper to Johnny Reno's trajectory.
Minnesota does a little bit better on 3rd down on offense compared to Tulsa this season, converting just under 58% of all their 3rd down conversions. Minnesota's pass over the middle, looking for the tight end, Jason France in double coverage. No problem, 1st down legend.
And that's what you want to have your tight end be positioned on any route, is in front of his cover man. And Jason France does it any better than any tight end in this league, if I can say so myself from a standpoint of an analyst. He always gets himself in front. He's got a gigantic body in front of him, 6'7", 270. It's hard for Reno not to pass to him.
Now they stand on Tulsa's 27. Try and run. Another ISO up the middle here for Hart. Hart met by Travis Arthur for a gain of 3. Let's quickly introduce you to the rest of that Tulsa defense. Chris Andrews, Jaden Swift, Mike Mello, and Berto DeMora are the defensive linemen, with Tony Roberto, David Ware, Philadelphia Collins, the linebackers. Cameron Shaw, Jay Rock, Nate Heslop, and Nano Matthews are the corners, with Travis Arthur and Marco Swift at safety. And with another handoff, again, more so up the middle, an off tackle run perhaps, as Collins comes up with a stop, maybe a yard on the play.
And you have to think Tulsa's game plan this entire week was to try to find ways to shut down Colin Hart's run game. They've done well so far up the middle, and they did well here with an off tackle run this time and got the edge to really contain that side.
3rd down now here for Minnesota. Trips near side. Reno to throw. Has time. Looking corner. It's bobbled and incomplete. Nate Heslop had 2 bites at the cherry, but couldn't haul it in. And that sets up a field goal situation.
And you can have as many bites as you can. If you can't secure that cherry, it's just not going to work. But thankfully for Tulsa, it is still a stop, and they're going to force Mickey Malillo to kick a 40-yarder.
Mickey Malillo, a day after his 25th birthday. Happy birthday, Mickey, as the field goal is up, and it is good, and he stays true after all those birthday celebrations. 9-play, 52-yard drive, just over 3 minutes time of possession, and both these teams, Brett, trying to milk a whole lot of clock, trying to really give no opportunity as far as having time of the ball for the other side.
And if this is the game that both these teams are going to play, now it's going to be a battle of who's going to have that ball the most, who's going to move those chains the most. It's now, we're not looking at time possession, we're looking at total 1st downs.
So Mickey will kick this one away for Gabriel Manning to return a yard deep in his own end zone. He jukes left side. Gabe Manning all the way up to the 29-yard line. That is where Tulsa will set up shop for their 2nd possession. If you're new to the Simulation Football League, welcome. The SFL is football for everyone. Get off the sideline and start your player today by joining our Discord server at simulationfl.net. Click the Join the Community button to begin your career or just to meet the stars of the SFL on and off the field. It's never too late to get involved. 3 minutes to go here in the first quarter. Q on his second drive of the game will fire it over to the middle, and that finds Sanzo Robinson for a first down.
And here's what we're seeing so far in this first quarter is that they're trusting in the arm of JQ early here. That's his 4th straight completion to start off this game, and he's already looking at 80 yards of passing just through 4 passes. That is just a great confidence from the offensive coaching staff at Tulsa.
So they stand on their own logo as they send Gabriel Manning in motion here on the second play of the drive. 4-3 look out of Minnesota. Quick hitter into quadruple coverage, and the ball will fall harmlessly to the turf. Q is looking for Bandit, the touchdown receiver from just a drive ago.
And right now, I kind of like this little mix that JQ is kind of throwing to. It's only been to 3 different receivers so far in Robinson, Manning, and Bandit, but at least he's kind of spreading this wealth a little bit more than we're used to seeing it.
Second down here for Tulsa. Coverage backs way off of the 3 receivers, expecting a run. It's a play-action pass, and there's Bandit who picks up the first down yardage and more. Finally bumped out of bounds at the 35-yard line, and it's a first down for Tulsa at the moment.
Now, this is going to be decision time here for the coaching staff in Minnesota, because you see in the middle of the play there, he got dangerously close to the sideline there before he hit the first down. It looks like from this initial view, he did step out of bounds, so I would be not surprised if they throw the challenge flag out here.
Head coach and owner Axel Raven does toss the red handkerchief, and so we will take a retroactive look at the play presented by Retroid. Get your SFL console at GoRetroid.com. Under the hood we go.
Yeah, and the main thing we have to look at, we'll see this at a better angle, and that seems way clear-cut now that we see it here on the replay. That is a full foot out of bounds, and then you still have a lot of white on the left of his shoe as well, so that should be easily overturned.
And indeed, they will mark him out of bounds at the 43-yard line, which is short of the line to gain, and so it'll bring up 3rd and short here for the Desperados.
And it's not a terrible thing for Tulsa either, because this offense has been rolling through this first quarter, but now Minnesota has a chance to maybe stuff them here on 3rd and 1, because a lot of situations that we've seen Tulsa in these close down scenarios is a handoff to Douglas Brown.
3rd and 1 here for Tulsa after the review. Counter play up the middle. There goes Brown. That's a first down there for Tulsa. But however, the free safety Daniel Wright is down. And unlike their corner slots where they have multiple backups, Daniel Wright's it for the free safety slot.
Yeah, and that's going to be a tough one. He is the leading tackler on this team, and he had great aspirations coming into this game to get to 100 tackles in the regular season, but right now he's walking on his own accord here, so maybe he'll come back later, but we'll have to see the injury report at halftime if he's not back in the game.
Meanwhile, for Tulsa, the drive continues. Handoff left side for Brown, gets a couple extra blocks, but is taken down by Jason Clay after a short 4-yard pickup.
Yeah, and again, going back to the point I made earlier here, they don't have to have Douglas Brown be this flashy talent that we've seen him before. As long as he can get good enough runs like we've seen here, it'll be good enough to carry this Tulsa drive forward.
Speaking of the drive, this is the 6th play of said drive. Try and run with Brown.
Oh.
Brown gets hit hard behind by Cody Griffin, who's having a stellar first quarter.
Yeah, and they brought a lot of players to the line, Minnesota did, and Griffin found his way through that sea of teal that is the offensive line to get to Brown.
That's a game-leading 4th tackle of this contest from Cody Griffin. 3rd down again here for Tulsa. They've been a perfect 4 of 4 up to this point. Q. Pocket collapsing, launches it for the end zone, and just put a little bit too much touch on the ball, looking for the highest paid receiver in the league and couldn't find him.
And that was pretty close too from being a sack as well. So that is tremendous composure from JQ to sling that rock with a defensive player breathing down the side of his neck. He just overthrew Manning by a couple yards.
And so here comes the punting unit for Tulsa as the punt is away. It's a short, spiraling kick to inside the 15-yard line, hauling it in was Quagmam. As we go to the all-important game in South Dakota, Indy and in Sioux Falls. Over to you, Cam.
Thank you, Tyler. In the first quarter, Sioux Falls is Zasto Black going, stoink off the upright. Indianapolis got the ball back and then fumbled. No score in the first. Back to you.
Thank you, Cam. Currently, Tulsa has the Central Division. As things were to stand, if there were ties in the SFL, but nothing to show for them over in South Dakota. Quick hitter right side gets 2 yards for Minnesota on 1st down.
Yeah, and you have to think from a Tyler Falk perspective, seeing game breaks here, it has to skip a heartbeat to you all the time if that happens.
Just a touch, as I was the former general manager over there, still a contributing member as the agent for player Mike Ryan over there in Indy, and we're hoping we can take home the Central Division title. However, not if Deezer Powell can get first downs like that and Minnesota come away with the victory and Sioux Falls able to take down Indy.
Yeah, and the thing, going back to the game here, we have to remember that Deezer Powell was one of the top receivers in the league with Queen City at one point. And he's been a little bit quiet this season, just with 429 yards coming into this game. If they can unlock the true potential of Deezer Powell, they got a chance to win this one.
New deep shot. Oh my goodness, Marco Swift nearly came away with the INT and looked telegraphed to him.
And right now, both of these quarterbacks have now overthrown their receivers by a couple yards. It's starting to get a little bit shaky on the tail end of this first quarter. Johnny Reno needs to calm things down a little bit so it doesn't go directly into the hands of one of the safeties, just like we saw there with Marco Swift.
007 left on the first quarter clock. Hugh looking near side. Ooh. Caught by Vin Calia, who turned around to his backside and hauled that in. Another Minnesota first down.
And that was potentially deflected as well by the outside linebacker. He had a hand so close to that. I think that was Roberto on that right side, potentially getting his hand on it, but Calia gets the catch.
That brings an end to the first quarter here from Tulsa as the hometown Desperados lead 7-3. It's week 14, final week of the regular season here in the SFL. Welcome back to Lucy Red Stadium here in Tulsa, Oklahoma. I'm Tyler Falk alongside Brett Solberg here in the booth. A special thank you to Rochelle Colston and Justin Rastide and the set struck, and of course, you'll hear plenty of him tonight. It's the SFL Commissioner, Cameron Irvine, who's also the producer. JQ rolling out, fires across his body and nearly taken away by David Ware. Second time on the drive, we've nearly seen an interception from this Tulsa defense.
Really good coverage from not only the corners and the secondary of Tulsa's defense, but the linebackers stayed back, and they were really going with a little bit of a harder zone this time, and the linebackers were all over the place. It's a good sign for this Tulsa defense to start the second quarter.
Can Minnesota come out with an offset single back, and Tulsa counter with the three wide receiver look with a nickel. Q with a four-man rush, fires over the middle. Oh my goodness! Travis Arthur playing center field, couldn't haul it in, and maybe that's why they only have 9 interceptions this season, because they just cannot contain the easy ones.
Yeah, and again, another safety almost right into their breadbasket. Now Travis Arthur and Marco Swift have to think to themselves, should we lay off the popcorn here on the sidelines?
3rd and 10. 5-man rush. They send the middle linebacker pass.
Ooh.
Another deflection. That one a much more spectacular version from J-Rock. And Minnesota will have to punt.
Yeah, 2 defenders about 5 yards away from the intended receiver, which I think was Vin Calia once again. And Rock gets his hands on the rock, pun intended, and forces a 4th down.
4th and 10. Out comes the undrafted rookie Minnie Malillo to punt this one away. She gets off a very spectacular punt all the way inside the 15-yard line. But Minnesota can't contain Gabe Manning, who springs free to the 24-yard line. A solid return on that one. For all the league highlights, photo galleries, major and minor league stats and leaderboards, community content, and so much more, check out the league's website at simulationfl.net. Presented by Football Ship. Stay up to date and explore our past, present, and future. So here comes the Desperado offense here to start another drive. 3 wide receivers, I formation behind JQ. Quick hitter, right side, knocked aside by the outside linebacker, Stephen Black.
Yeah, and the outside linebackers for Minnesota do a pretty equally well job on the coverage as well whenever they're in a zone. More specifically in Stephen Black. Now his 5th pass deflection this season. It's almost kind of a surprise when you see it on the stat line, but Stephen Black does well on coverage.
Second and 10 now here for Tulsa. You back to throw again into triple coverage, and he slots it home to the fullback Lars Bazar.
And they haven't hit him a lot in the receiving game like much this season. 4 receptions coming in. That's reception number 5, and his first of more than 2 yards. He's only had 6 yards of receiving coming into this, and he gets Tulsa a 1st down. That is the spread the wealth offense that we want to see out of Tulsa.
You looking to throw again. Quick hit. Oh, it's taken away by Stephen Black. Back-to-back plays he was involved, but this time he turns it over.
As much as we talk about the outside linebacking core of Minnesota doing well on coverage, we have to remember that Miles Gibson is the coverage linebacker that everyone aspires to be. 5th interception this season, has a forced fumble under his name as well. He is a threat with those hands, and now Minnesota has a chance to turn the tide and take the lead.
I believe that's Miles Gibson who has the 4 interceptions, the forced fumble. That's Stephen Black's 2nd interception of the season. Hand off to Hart near side. That'll gain 3 yards as Minnesota gets back on the horse on offense.
Look, I feel like my vision's getting worse at this point, and I probably need to get new glasses because 52 looked a lot like 55 in my eyes. So my apologies to Stephen Black getting his 2nd interception of the game there. Great work.
Well, they'll take it as they're trying to come away with the victory regardless. Is a quick hitter left side this time for Colin Hart. Out of one tackle, looking for more, spinning upfield to the 16-yard line, and they're in the red zone.
Yeah, this is the Colin Hart we all know and love here, and he's starting to cook a little bit more, especially when it comes to a swing pass, which we haven't seen a lot over the last couple of weeks here. That's what they need to utilize a bit more often because Hart has the speed. He has the agility. Just got to get that blocking in, and there you see a 1st down for Minnesota.
First and 10 from the 17 officially. Q back to throw, looking near side or not Q. That is Reno looking to throw. That's caught by Deezer Powell for 6 yards.
Yeah, and they'll take a quick hit to Powell, especially on a slant play. At least again, they talk about getting in front of your secondary so that Reno has the chance to get a pass off. That's what you see there.
A single back look out of Minnesota. 8 men in the box here for Tulsa. Handoff left side for Hart. Gets out of one, but dragged down from behind by Tony Roberto. 3rd and short on its way.
And it's good pursuit from the linebackers of Tulsa to at least stymie Hart a little bit there, because if he had that open space, he would have breezed by that first down and then some. It was a great job to get 3 guys on Hart before he goes down.
And Hart got the first down and is going to be dragged down at the 5-yard line. 1st and goal, Minnesota.
And Minnesota's going to take that. And you talked earlier about time possession, and I think that's what Minnesota wants to do here on this drive, as they're going to be well content with a first down here. They get 3 plays to get themselves to the end zone. They may just need 1 here. Heavy set going in.
1st and goal here right now. Sioux Falls leads 7-0 at the end of the first quarter. Can Minnesota jump up back to the lead? Handoff, Hart through the middle, easy as you like. Touchdown, Minnesota!
Yeah, and what Minnesota has done great all season has been opening gaps for Colin Hart on these off tackles, these runs up the gut. There's just a sea of nothingness that Colin Hart can run himself to, and it just makes it for easy pickings, easy 6 for them. And now Minnesota on the road has turned the tide here and given themselves, after the extra point, a 3-point lead.
22nd rushing touchdown for Colin Hart, as the extra point from Mickey is up and good. 10-7. Your score here in Tulsa as things stand. If both games were to end right now, Minnesota would be going to the postseason as the Central Division champion. But as everybody says, you have to play the games. You have to close out the last 26 minutes and 50 seconds of this game to claim the title. Gabe Manning on the ensuing kickoff returns. He goes straight up the middle and fights his way all the way up to the 33-yard line.
And what Tulsa needs to do here is strike back. And strike back in their own way. What it worked on that first drive was plenty of Douglas Brown, but they got some deep balls down the field to their targets. We need to see that again on this drive.
Tulsa's trying to rekindle that opening drive where they're able to march down the field and pick up 6 points. Find themselves down by 3. First time they have trailed in the ball game. They will start with a pass over the middle, looking for DJ Bandit, who hauls it in for a pickup of 7.
Yeah, and sometimes quick hits happen as well, as long as they can keep that passing game hot, which they have so far. Take away that 1 interception, and JQ has been pretty good tonight, 7 of 9, taking away the interception.
Take away the interception and make sure you mention the 1 touchdown. Now, 2nd and short. Little counter trap play. Through the middle goes Douglas Brown for a first down, maybe 4 yards on the carry all told.
Yeah, and I think what Tulsa has done better than any team this season has been those delayed handoffs. It's been a boon, or not a boon, a soft spot to talk about delayed handoffs to a lot of teams here because they don't like it. But Tulsa's done it well through the season.
Pitch play right side. Douglas Brown got a good edge block. And Douglas Brown rolls his way forward all the way to near the chains. They'll give him 9.5.
Yes, easily his longest run of the game in this first half. But that was a tough run to make because you got to shed through 1 tough tackler and then bruise your way forward for that 9.9999999 yards.
2nd and inches. Tulsa trot out the same formation. Defensive line shifts outside, expecting something in that direction. Another counter play, and the delayed handoff works again for an easy first down for Tulsa.
And that gap opened up so quickly and got so wide that the linebackers had to hurriedly rush themselves as quickly as they could, but it was not before Douglas Brown got an easy step to the first down.
Minnesota stacked the box on the outside, expecting a run the direction, and they guessed right. A beautiful play call for Minnesota's defense, and they get home on the edge.
Yeah, it looked to be Meerkat that came in on the pursuit, and he's done that pretty well so far this season. He gets his 4th tackle for loss here. He's been that all-around safety talent, especially when if Daniel Wright is still down. I'm not sure if we've seen him back in this game yet, but he's going to be a key factor in the backfield.
5-step drop from Q. Looking deep over the middle. It is incomplete. Ooh. Looking for Bandit. Flag comes in. This might be pass interference, and it is.
Yeah, and a lot of people, especially in the SFL community, have had their problems with pass interference, but we have to remember the big thing these referees are looking at is whether or not they're looking to tackle them, look for the football or look for their man. And at this instance here, he was looking for the man, didn't have a chance in hell in trying to get the ball. And that's why you see that yellow flag go up.
That's Mikkel, the backup safety in place of Daniel Wright. Maybe Q and company try and target that area again. Quick hitter looking. It's bobbled and nearly taken away. Over the middle pass just doesn't work out. That's one Mississippi.
I can appreciate JQ going to his trusty options, but he just threw that into double coverage and into 2 linebackers that have the ability in grabbing interceptions. You can't do that.
Now Tulsa come out with 4 wide receivers on 2nd and 10. They send Ian Francis, the rookie out of Lexington, in motion near side. Under 5 to go here in the first half. JQ back to pass, looking middle, bobbled again by Stephen Black, and it falls incomplete. It's a tough defense to throw against.
Yeah, and again, the linebacking core for Minnesota right now in this first half has done a well done job in utilizing that zone on the defense and making sure that their linebackers are in place to deflect passes. Stephen Black has been the MVP so far on that defense.
2 deflections and interception in this first half for Black. 3rd and 10, 4 more wide receivers here for Tulsa. Q looks to throw, 3-man rush, deep bomb middle, couldn't keep control of it. Looking for Sonzo Robinson. That would have been 1st and goal had he hauled it in.
That almost looked like a flip of the play that they tried before that had Gabriel Manning open, but Q overthrew him. This time, Q had a great chance at getting to Robinson, but that was well covered by the safety.
Here comes Brooke Brown from 46 yards. She's been a perfect 24 of 24 this season. Make her 25 of 25, and we are level again at 10 points apiece after a 9-play, 38-yard drive, which ended in the Brown field goal. If you're liking the game so far, smash that like button and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. The SFL produces over 400 events a year. There is no one else that gives you more football. Don't miss a minute of SFLM action and help the channel grow through your support. Here comes Mississippi on the return, gets a good block and goes to the left-hand side of the field, and that's a great return all the way to the 34-yard line. And that is where Minnesota will set up shop on their next possession.
Yeah, and if I'm the coaching staff for Minnesota here, you've got 4 minutes left in this first half, especially if I'm looking at someone that wants to call these plays like one of the assistant coordinators here, probably Jay Hayden out of the Axel Raven group here. I'd be looking to utilize all 4 minutes and 13 seconds to at least get some points. You don't need to get a touchdown out of this, just a field goal, as long as you have the lead heading to the locker room.
3 wideouts here for Johnny Reno. On his first play of the drive, it's a pitch play near side for Colin Hart, as Colin Hart gets taken down by Marco Swift after 5.
Yeah, and right now, Colin Hart has done a great job. Turn things around in this second quarter and be really involved in that offense. 38 yards over 10 carries so far. It doesn't look too spectacular, but he's broken out on some big plays already in this quarter.
5-step drop. Pass, middle, that is caught. The dual crossing routes works as Vincalia hauls it in for a first down.
Yeah, and the reason why a lot of these coaches love dual crossing routes is that they want to get those passes thrown in between the crossings so that if there is a switch happening on the corners, there's an open time opportunity to get that one out. But there was no crossing needed because Callie had just got in front of the receiver.
1st and 10 from the 46-yard line. Pass over the middle from Reno. Finds his target. It's Callie again on a post route.
Yeah, and they're quickly moving down the field here. Just 2 plays and immediately 25 yards up the field. And it's just been great throwing from Johnny Reno in the second quarter. Again, great credit to this Minnesota offense to turn things around after they were a little bit stymied in that first quarter. And they've really done a good job moving the chain.
2 wideouts, 2 backs in the backfield here for Minnesota as Sioux Falls kick a field goal. It is now 10-0. Sparrows lead in Sioux Falls. Pitch play left side. It is Jason France, the tight end, on the carry. He picks up 4 yards.
And we're seeing this more and more through the second half of this season. A lot of positionary changes through these players. Seattle has been the biggest example of utilizing their players in different options. Minnesota now doing their part using Jason France as a second running back option.
2 tight ends, 2 wideouts now on 2nd down. Blitz coming from Tulsa. Pass from Reno. Misses his man and looking for France. And it just seems like the moment is getting to these quarterbacks.
Yeah, and again, overthrowing his target so much that I thought he was going to Powell on that throw and not France, but that was clearly overthrown by a good 4 yards there. Again, Reno just needs to calm things down here on 3rd down.
He's going to have to calm down real quick. It's 3rd down. Blitz coming from the edge as he finds Jason France. How about that for a comeback play as he finds France to inside the red zone down to the 16.
And there's never been any doubt in any minds in the league that Johnny Reno can't compose himself after a bad throw. He does a great job in turning things around, and you go with that trusty big 6'7" Jason France. Why not? Get in front of the receivers, he's going to be open.
That's the 2-minute warning here in the first half. Tie ball game 10-10 with Minnesota on the doorstep of the end zone. This is the Simulation Football League Week 14 action presented by APM Music. 2 to go from Tulsa in Lucy Red Stadium. I formation. 6-man rush. Reno middle taken away almost by Travis Arthur. How many of these plays are we going to see? Eventually, Tulsa has to pick one of these off.
Yeah, and you have to think that the daily training practices that they have of, their rewards being packets of Butterfingers and Kit Kats, those have to stop if they keep having those messy hands.
We just know that it's just a matter of time before they come up with interception, pass, corner, and they... You know what? It's a great deflection from Nate Heslop. Even if they don't get an interception, they are denying scoring opportunities. So either way, the defense is doing something good.
Yeah, and it's so interesting because Tulsa is amongst the bottom half in the league in pass deflections. Just 40 coming into this game. And they've already had, 5, 6, 7 key deflections in this first half?
That's exactly it. Courtesy of First Editions, Rochelle Colston and Justin Versailles. That's 7 on the dot deflections for Tulsa. 3rd down. Reno under pressure. Enzo looking for France. And again, it's a mistimed pass. Incomplete. They have to settle for a field goal. Great stand from Tulsa's defense.
Yeah, and there was a great opportunity, and it was just a little bit outside the hands of Jason France. He had a chance, had his arms a little bit too close to himself, and now they're going to have to force a situation where they're going to get a field goal, which I said earlier, I don't think Minnesota minds.
Mickey Millo's got a 32-yard attempt from the left hash. Snap, spot kick is up. It is good. 13-10, Minnesota lead with 1:45 to go in the first half of the last game of the regular season.
But to counteract what I said earlier, I'm not sure if Minnesota likes giving Tulsa the football with $1:45 left in this half, because it still gives them a chance to respond, especially with all 3 timeouts still.
Especially with that man deep to return, Gabriel Manning, going through the middle as he is bottled up at the 24-yard line. And that is where Tulsa will have to start their drive, and we will get an opportunity to watch their 2-minute offense.
Yeah, and very easily, if I'm Tulsa, I'm going aggressive here. And I think that's what they're going to go as well, because JQ has been really good in this first half so far. 110 yards through 7 completions and the touchdown to DJ Bandit. I'd be looking at Manning or Bandit on this 2-minute drill.
Quick hitter looking for Bandit, and it's nearly taken away by Stephen Black again. 3rd deflection.
Yeah, and it feels like these linebackers have had that quick hit option to Bandit in check. That's about the 3rd time they've tried to go with that quick hit option with Bandit on the slot, and it just hasn't worked out for them. So they need to change, maybe away, maybe motion Bandit to the other side, see if they can get a different coverage man on him.
Play action, cue to throw, deep bomb, and it's got it! Across midfield into Minnesota territory, it's DJ Hume!
And DJ Hume has also been a guy who has been very, very sneaky in terms of getting yards. He has been close to a 1,000-yard receiver in his career as well in the regular season. He's only had 580 up to this point, but he can be a dangerous man, and that's a dangerous man's catch right there.
Now from the Minnesota 47, what do the Desperados dial up with 1:08 and ticking on the game clock? And off. Near side. Here comes Douglas Brown.
There we go.
Out of a tackle inside the 30-yard line and finally taken down by Johnny Bravo near the 28. As Minnesota it's Tulsa that has to burn their first timeout.
And that is the kind of run that I've wanted to see Douglas Brown do all game so far, because he's cut in a lot and not gone completely to the outside. He utilized Sonzo Robinson as a blocker and went to the outside to get that first down. Great work from Douglas Brown.
17-yard run from Douglas Brown to get inside the 30-yard line. Quick hitter looking for Hume. Can't haul it in as Nicholas Frossel jars the ball free.
Yeah, great job from Frossel to get up on his man and jostle that ball away, because they've looked at that quick hits a few times. They go on the outside of that left side of the offense this time, and Frossel was ready and got the ball loose from DJ Hume's hands.
2nd and 10 now for Q. Now they are in field goal range. They do not have to score to tie the ball game up before they hit the half, but they want a touchdown. They've been aggressive all along this drive, and they're going to go back to the pass. Looking near side, it's off of the back plate of the defender. Incomplete, 3rd down.
Bit of an ill-advised throw from Q as well, because Ian Francis was well covered by his man. I understand why he wanted to go with Francis, thinking he was going to be open, but once he slung that rock, no chance.
4 wide trips near side here for Q on 3rd down from the 27. JQ pass middle, one-handed snag by Sonzo Robinson. That's an amazing catch that puts him 1st and goal.
Yeah, forget about the rest of this second half. Let's just say it right now, that is the Retroid nice hands catch of the game right there. You see the outstretched arm. Sonzo trying to fall forward to grab that catch. Run through the ad, my man.
Brought to you by Retroid. Put a Retroid handheld in your hands and play the SFL video game with your player in at 4K23 pass. Looking for Manning, who nearly brought it in. That Sonzo Robinson catch was our nice hands catch of the game, presented by Retroid.
And not a bad option going back into the game here. 1st and goal, heading to Gabriel Manning, trying to squeak into the end zone. Good look But second and goal, I'd be looking at DJ Bandit if he's out on the field, which I think he is on the right side.
Shotgun look. Here with just over half a minute to go. Q. Bandits pass away. Miles Gibson comes out of nowhere to swat that aside. It is 3rd and goal.
Yeah, and if I'm Tulsa right now, I'm thinking about just 2 options in this 3rd and goal situation from the 7-yard line. If you can get yourself a fade route on either Sonzo Robinson or Gabriel Manning's side, you've got an open spot. But again, I'd be looking at DJ Bandit. He is your red zone threat.
3rd and goal. Tulsa come out with 5 wide receivers from the 7-yard line. Cue to throw. Looking middle. It is caught! Gabriel Manning! Touchdown! Desperados just before the half!
And this is the fighting Tulsa Desperados that we have seen in seasons past. Their backs are against the wall, and they know that a loss here squashes any playoff hopes for them. They are fighting with so much heart, with the 2-minute drill, slowly going down the field, utilizing the sidelines, utilizing every option that they can, utilizing 2 of their timeouts to get to the end zone in a minute and about 15 seconds here to get 6 and have the lead before halftime.
Snap spot extra point from Brooke Brown is up and good with 31 seconds to go here in this game. Tulsa jump back out in front. It is 17-13. Meanwhile, in Sioux Falls, that game is just starting up in the second half of play. It's Indy 0, Sioux Falls 10. Indy has less than 100 yards of total offense on just 24 offensive plays. Things are looking bright for everyone here in Tulsa. Now we'll need to find out who the winner is as Craig Mam gets a decent return past the 20-yard line.
Yeah, and right now, if you're Minnesota, you would love Colin Hart to break out for a deep run and have a quick hit response and give a shot to the jaw of Tulsa's hopes, especially after a very enlightening drive in the fans here on Lucy Red.
I formation here for Minnesota as they will go to the air with 30 seconds to go in the game, or excuse me, in the half. Quick hitter underneath, Colin Hart's there. That picks up 4 yards. And they will not call a timeout. That's going to do it, potentially, for the first half of action.
Yeah, and I think they tried to look deep to see if they can get that one quick touchdown. It just didn't work, so Reno went to his check down. And they might get one more playoff here, at least to get a chance for Colin Hart.
This time they just run straight up the middle, and Tulsa's having none of it. And that will end the first half of play. Tulsa with the lead. Minnesota down by 4, 17-13. As things stand, the winner here in this game becomes the Central Division champion, Brett. Things are looking bright for these 2 teams, but who pulls away? Who comes away with the moment that decides the Central Division?
Yeah, and you have to love the heart and the intensity of both these teams, trying to play their own game and try to take advantage any way they can at this point. We have seen now 4 lead changes in this first half because of the fight that both these teams are bringing. Tulsa has the advantage right now because they have thrown for over 160 yards so far, all in part in JQ throwing to the right options. They've now attempted 21 passes out of him, and he's got the blemish of the interception. So they have to play it careful here in this second half and not overuse the arm of JQ. For Minnesota, you've got to use that balanced offense that has worked well so far. You've gotten 13 out of it, but you need to utilize time of possession, first downs, and get to the red zone. You know how to get to the end zone in the red zone. 85% of the time, when you get to the red zone, it is a touchdown. So let's use that red zone offense.
Welcome back to Lucy Red Stadium here in Tulsa, Oklahoma. Visit Lucy Red Energy Drink at LucyRed.com and see why the energy is amazing. I'm Tyler Falk alongside Brett Solberg, and we are underway to begin quarter number 3 here in Oklahoma. As on the return, it's Jay Taylor who comes all the way up to the 27-yard line. And as we begin our half, things have gotten spicy over in the Dakotas. Over to you, Cam.
Thank you, Tyler. A.J. Warren, 119 total yards. Indianapolis, 87. A.J. Warren here on a 46-yard touchdown catch on 2nd and long gives Sioux Falls a stunning 17-0 lead as both miss in double coverage. Wow. The winner of this one right now, a lot on the line. Back to you.
Thank you, Cam. 1st and 10 for Minnesota as Tulsa show blitz with their linebackers.
Look at that. That's 7 in the box right now.
They back off, though. Reno to pass. Over the middle. Open is Vincalia at the 44.
And again, good composure from Reno when they see that 7 in the box. He said, nah, no matter. I got the receivers to get open at least. And with Tulsa playing a little bit of a zone here, it's going to find an open spot in the middle of that field. And Kalia was the right man at the right place.
Take a quick look at Reno's numbers, just hitting the 150-yard mark. Both quarterbacks right there or thereabouts around the 50% completion percentage. As Reno will hand off to Hart near side. Travis Arthur brings him down after a short 3-yard pickup.
And right now, Colin Hart, I think just one breakout run, and they could shift the tide of momentum right away here. So I like that the Minnesota still is trying to utilize Colin Hart in any way possible. He's just got to break out.
Now look how many defenders in the box. Reno will pass, and it's behind the defense. Vincalia, a beautiful play design. The defense was guessing run, and Minnesota pull a wild card.
Yeah, we saw this in the first half of the season for Johnny Reno, but that's just a great threading of the needle between two defenders, and that is right in front of Nate Heslip as well, who's got the hands to have the ability for pick sixes. It just goes right into the hands of the only receiver that can grab it for Johnny Reno, and Vincalia gets another nice catch.
I formation on 1st down from near the 39-yard line of Tulsa. Here's Hart on the give, but he is bottlenecked after a short yardage run. Chris Andrews amongst others with the stop.
Yeah, and Tulsa just needs to, secure the run game and force Minnesota into a passing game so that the Tulsa defenders can be ready. And maybe in part these linebackers can also, play a part in Minnesota and start deflecting passes too.
Step drop. Reno under pressure, has to get rid of it and does, and Kalia can't haul it in. He had the pass. The pass was perfect from Reno, but maybe just a little bit of twirling just set him off kilter.
Yeah, and I think you're right on that one because Reno, picture perfect pass, what you want to see at a quarterback. I don't think Kalia had the positioning on his body to get that catch secured, so it was off his shoulder and out of bounds.
So 3rd and 8 from the 37-yard line. Empty backfield. Reno to throw. Rolling out. Now tucks it and run. And he slides down near the 31-yard line. He's 2 yards shy. And it appears Mickey Malilla will come out and try a long field goal.
Yeah, and Reno had the space to potentially get the 1st down, but the speed of Nano Matthews to shut that down, to force Reno into a slide, was great work, and to force this field goal from Mickey Malilla.
48-yard attempt is up and good, and so they chop the deficit to just a single point. It is Tulsa 17, Minnesota 16. Now available free to download, you can play the SFL video game on the go with the Retroid Pocket 3 Plus, an emulator for 4K23, right in the palm of your hand. Order your Retroid today at GoRetroid.com, search SFL, and download our mod at simulationfl.net/4K23. Retroid, the official console of the SFL. Cam Manning takes a knee deep in his own end zone, and so Tulsa will start the next drive on their own 20.
The big question here, is it Brown's time to take control of this drive for Tulsa, or are they going to keep with the hot hand in JQ? Despite under 50% completion percentage, it still looks good in his hands.
Minnesota stacks 7 in the box, try and counter the I formation behind JQ. Quick drop, Q under pressure, and he is brought down with authority from Mark Mello.
And Mello has the capability of being a huge threat on the defensive line, and we haven't seen Mark Mello to his true potential this season. Only his 3rd sack of the season, but they will take that in a critical moment of the game.
3rd sack, 6th tackle for loss this season for Mark Mello. Play action, Q has to get rid of it. It's a screen pass near side. Douglas Brown, who had plenty of room. It did not matter how many yards they went backward on the first play of the drive. They gained them all back and then get a first down on top of it on the second.
Not a lot of SFL teams trust in the halfback screen pass, mainly because there's not enough trust in the offensive lineman to have that entourage ready. But Tulsa had the linemen ready. They had 3 linemen and 2 receivers along with Lars Bazar to help kind of block for Douglas Brown to get that wide open space on the right side. Good play call from the Tulsa offense.
And you need so much faith in your offensive line or whatever you have left, especially on a play action screen that takes so long to develop, and it worked perfectly for Tulsa on that play. 1st and 10 from their own 32. Quick drop looking for Bandit. Oh my goodness. How did Q find Bandit in a sea of Minnesota trees? And now Derek Meerkat, both of their safeties are injured. This has gone exactly the opposite that this defense for the Legend wanted.
Oh, this is just a huge shame for Minnesota because both of their starting safeties are now out. Meerkat and Wright, we haven't seen Wright back in the game yet. Now it's forced some new players that we haven't seen all season in Minnesota to come step up. And now from Tulsa, you have to think, go for the jugular. Gabriel Manning's got to go deep.
This is good news, though. I just saw Daniel Wright back on the field. So, well, he seems like no safeties can't stay on the field, but here goes Douglas. Negative. I can hear you, yes. Okay. Welcome back to Lucy Red Stadium here in Tulsa, Oklahoma. We apologize. A brief technical glitch We are back underway. You have not missed any plays. It is 1st down and 10 from the Minnesota 26-yard line. Tulsa still has the ball with a 1-point lead. Pitch play left side. Douglas Brown, after a great run on the last play, picks it up 7 more yards.
Yeah, and I don't fault Tulsa trusting on Douglas Brown, especially after a big run here. It keeps moving Tulsa forward. They finally found something, a little chink in the armor in Minnesota's run defense to get Douglas Brown going.
2nd and short. They'll try another counter run up the middle. Douglas Brown, and that run, 2nd and short, 3rd and short. It's working wonders for Tulsa, and Minnesota can't stop it.
Yeah, and Tulsa running on all gears now. The passing game has been great, and now the run game is starting to come on par with the passing game, and that's what Tulsa wants if they're going to break open on this lead here.
Pitch play left side. Brown, nothing doing. Gains all the way back up to the original line of scrimmage. Daniel Wright, back in the game, gets the tackle.
Yeah, and since Derek Meerkat has been that stone in that backfield for the defense, now Daniel Wright has to take in place now that Meerkat has injured himself. So now it's Daniel Wright's time to take advantage of the situation.
As Q, dump off, left side. Brown, gaining a few more yards, brings up 3rd and 6.
Huge defensive play here coming up for Minnesota. 3rd and 6, you're being pushed back hard on this Tulsa drive. You need to make a stop no matter the circumstance. If they go with Douglas Brown, bring the linebackers in and get to him. If they go with the pass, use those linebackers to cover. They've got 2 receivers on the right, Tulsa does, so be careful about that slot.
Pressure comes around and gets to Q. On 3rd down, Mark Mello again, his 2nd sack of the night. It's a big one that sends out the field goal unit for Tulsa.
And already the game of the season for Mark Mello, as now he doubles his sack total for the season, pushes Tulsa back, and forces Brooke Brown on a 32-yard attempt to keep this game within a score. Great job from the defensive line on that 3rd down.
To put it back to a 4-point lead. Snap, spot, kick is up, and in this domed Lucy Red Stadium, which is a gem in the SFL, it's up and good from Brown, and it is now 20-16 in favor of Tulsa. Tonight, after these last couple of games here, when we decide the Central Division, the Scenario Show crew will get together once more to break down the remaining 8 scenarios left that will decide this season's epic postseason bracket. What does your team need? Who will you play? It's all goes down tonight. Stay up late with us, 11:45 p.m. Eastern, right here on SFL YouTube.
Now Minnesota is going to start themselves at the 28 here. You did a good job on that last defensive stand to force a field goal out of Tulsa. Now the question is, can the offense respond in kind? They've got options. Jason France has been hot. Colin Hart has had his moments. Who's going to step up for this Minnesota offense on this drive?
1st and 10 here for Minnesota. Pitch play near side, Colin Hart. He gets stopped in the backfield. The first hit came from Chris Andrews, and Tony Roberto cleans it up as they go back for a loss of 2, and we send it back to Sioux Falls Cam with another game break.
Thank you, Tyler. A.J. Warren gets loose on a 3rd down and 5 and one-on-one coverage. Bam, just like that. It's the 8th time either Warren or Marion has gone over 150 this season. 24-7 Sparrows as Minnesota gets a little bit closer to a 1st down. Indy struggling. Back to you.
Thank you, Cam. Right now, as it has been for most of tonight's games, as it stands, this game will decide who takes home the Central Division and goes to the SFL postseason. Trips right side for Minnesota as Reno turning and down he goes. There's Berto Demora with the sack, and that will force a punt.
And that is just, not a great sign of awareness from Johnny Reno as he's trying to step back, tries to turn himself around to pass from essentially left to right. He basically did a full 360. That gave Demora enough time to break past his offensive lineman and get to Reno. Key stop here for Tulsa's defense.
And so now Minnie Melillo backed behind her own 10-yard line to punt this one away. Here comes Tulsa on the return. Gabe Manning all the way up to the 41 and no further. That is where Tulsa will start this next drive with the lead and the division title. It's becoming more and more evident that whoever wins tonight is going to be in the postseason if Indy don't turn things around, partner.
And I was talking in around the SFL podcast this week that I wanted chaos in the Central Division. I was not expecting this kind of chaos.
Blitz pass, middle, incomplete, intended for Hume. Another flag, another PI, and it's on Minnesota.
Yeah, Jason Clay again. We talk about how these bang-bang plays turn into pass interference calls, and once again, I have to remind you, is it about trying to get the football or trying to get to the man? And it looked like Clay, at this moment, maybe not looking for the football, and that's why the referee threw the flag for this penalty.
And so now, Tulsa will continue the drive, this time right at the midfield logo, right on the midfield logo. Football on football. First and 10 I formation here for Q. He will look to pass, dumps it middle. DJ Bandit is there, nothing Derek Meerkat, who's back in the game, could do about it.
Yeah, and that's a huge gain there for Minnesota despite allowing that first down. If they can get both safeties back in this game, it's, a sign of positivity for the Minnesota defense. And that was tightly covered as well. You had Jason Clay on the coverage too, but again, JQ throwing a thread down that tire hole and finding his receiver. Great job from JQ so far in this game.
Been a slow-moving game, handoff, play action, little floater looking for Manning, couldn't do it.
And they've been wanting to get these quick hits. It's maybe worked about 45-50% of the time. This time, Q maybe a little bit too hastily throwing the football to Manning, which resulted in it being a little bit short, and Manning had to force to scoop it. Didn't work this time.
I say it's a slow-moving game here because the game in South Dakota has already reached the fourth quarter, 24-7. Sparrows with the lead. Under 2 to go in the third quarter here. Handoff, Douglas Brown, left-hand side, gains about 2, maybe 3 or 4 yards.
And they're going to give him 4 yards in that one after a little bit of toss-around action between Brown and the defender. And that's going to be a little bit more favorable of a situation now for Tulsa. They may be in Brooke Brown's kicking range. I don't think she's kicked it from that far yet. So they want to inch a little bit more forward here.
They will play action. Q. Floater caught. Manning on a brilliant out route. Got behind his man, that being Nicholas Frussel, and that will keep the drive alive.
And I think Frussel was hoping that he wasn't going to get thrown to his side, and he was on it. Looked to be a little bit of a soft zone again from Minnesota's defense, and Frussel kind of stayed in the motion a little bit there, which gave Manning enough of an opportunity to grab the catch.
Looked like he wasn't fully sure. Was that ball coming in my direction? Probably maybe a little bit of camouflage from the ball in how dark the stands are here in Tulsa. Not that great of lighting for the fans, but you don't need to when the spotlight shines on this Tulsa Desperado offense that gains a few extra yards.
Yeah, and right now this offense has played their part. Douglas Brown hasn't had to be pretty because JQ has found his targets. So now another 5 yards sets up a great situation for Tulsa.
9 men in the box to try and counter the run, and that will hinder Forward progress attempted from Douglas Brown, maybe a yard on the play.
And if you look at the stats here, Tulsa been in a lot of third down scenarios, but has converted very well. Now 7 of 10 in this game. Can they go 8 of 11 and continue dominating this game via time of possession?
And off, no, play action, quick hitter looking for Hume, but Daniel Wright is there to deny the attempted touchdown. And again, Tulsa will have to bring on the field goal unit.
And simply put, Cody Griffin was beat. Hume had Griffin beat by a good 3-4 yards and resulted in Wright coming in and trying to save that pass attempt, and save he did. 37-yarder coming from Brooke Brown.
This time for the right hash for Brown, who's been perfect all season and tonight, and the streak continues. Third field goal of the night is up and good. It's now a 7-point ball game between the Desperados and Legend, with the hometown Tulsa out in front.
You have to think Minnesota will gladly take that, because it's still one possession. They can tie the game with a simple touchdown and extra point here, no matter the circumstance. You still have 10 minutes and 8 seconds left in the game. You've got a chance here, Minnesota.
Here comes the kickoff from Brown. Back deep to return is Quagmam. She returns it out through the middle, looking for something to happen. Breaks out of a tackle and is finally wrapped up at her own 27-yard line. 3 seconds to go in quarter number 3. Minnesota, who have struggled as of late, off and on in a lot of these games. They've lost 7 games on the bounce. Need to turn things around. They were 3 and out on the last drive. They had a field goal to begin this half, but now they need a touchdown.
Yeah, and a big touchdown, and they may need it from the hands of Colin Hart, because he has been relatively quiet through this game. Just 40 yards on 14 carries.
Pitch play near side. It's Jason France out of 1 tackle, but finally brought down by Nate Heslop as the clock hits triple zeros here in quarter number 3. 1 more quarter to maybe decide who takes home the Central Division. Will it be Tulsa or Minnesota? Come back and find out. Over to you, Curtis.
The Simulation Football League is intended for the private use of our audience. Any rebroadcast, retransmission, or account of the game without the express written consent of the league office is prohibited.
Jitterbugs in the air, goosebumps, hair standing on end, people shivering, twiddling their thumbs, biting their nails. It's a nervous time here at Lucy Red Stadium in Tulsa, Oklahoma. The Desperados currently lead Minnesota by 7. As things stand, they are Central Division champions, but they have to hold out for 10 more minutes against one of the deepest clubs in the SFL coming into this season. Johnny Reno back to pass, tucks it and runs on first down or on second down, and brings it up for about 6 yards and no further. And now Minnesota come up third down, and they have 9 minutes, 47 seconds and ticking to maybe come back and maybe claim the title for themselves.
And it starts here by converting this third down. They haven't been as great in comparison to Tulsa on third downs, just 3 of 8. That needs to change here in the last 9.5 minutes.
Third down, Reno to pass, gets it away just in time, but unable to haul it in was Jay Taylor, and this Tulsa defense steps up in the clutch on third down.
And that is a bone-shattering hit coming from Jay Taylor's backside, and that, as a receiver, is always tough to secure the ball after you initially get it when you're hit a little bit from behind there. Good try from Jay Taylor, but all for naught.
Another punt from Minnie Malillo. Deep downfield, back to return, Gabe Manning, who needs a return, gets a few blocks, looking to get beyond the 40, but cannot. Gang tackled there, and that is where Tulsa will take over.
And Tulsa could not ask for any better position right now to start their drive here in their first drive of the fourth quarter. Gabe Manning gets them to their own 40. They don't have to work a lot to get down the field and even get another field goal from Brooke Brown, as she has been red hot, 3 of 3. But I know they want to ice this game as quickly as possible so that there's no more LA Charger girl out there in the sands of Lucy Red.
3 wide here on first down to begin the drive. Brown on the pitch, right side, gains maybe a yard. Meerkat there to greet him and take him down.
And right now, it might be a lot of touches from Douglas Brown to just shed some clock, because Tulsa has been wanting to do that. Get themselves into deep and long drives, and it's worked a couple times for them. They've had multiple 3-minute drives.
Floater is taken away! A phenomenal interception! Jason Clay, and Minnesota turn the ball over in plus territory!
All right, Jason Clay, now get your first interception of the season. And what a moment to have it as well. Looking again for that quick hit to DJ Bandit that has worked half of the time so far in this game, and just one too many times, and that linebacking core will get themselves another interception, gives Minnesota another opportunity to tie this game.
Not just his first interception this season, that's his first of his career, and it couldn't have come at a better time, like you said, partner. 1st and 10 from the 44-yard line. Minnesota now on the march. They start with a handoff to Colin Hart near side, dragging defenders with them for 7 yards.
Yeah, and they'll take 7 yards because it opens up the playbook here for 2nd down, and Minnesota can calm down a little bit here because they are into enemy territory and driving deeper in. They don't have to have any hasty long passes. They just have to work their game.
2nd and 3 now here for Minnesota. They come out in a strong eye look. 8 men in the box with 5 down linemen for Tulsa. They go to the run. They go to Hart. Hart cuts it back and churns his legs and tumbles forward the 26-yard line as we go back to the Dakotas. Cam has another game break live from Sioux Falls.
Thank you, Tyler, with A.J. Warren having a season high in yards. No one's thinking about Ryan Davis deep down the field. Warren ends up with the touchdown, and Sioux Falls is pulling away. 6 minutes left. If that score stands, the winner of this game goes to the playoffs. Back to you.
Thank you, Cam. 1st and 10. Blitz coming from the strong side. Reno looking middle. It is caught by Jason France. Out the deflection. Take the laundry off the field. What an amazing grab from Viva La France.
Yeah, forget about the flag. We know that's defensive pass interference no matter what. But again, you trust on the big man. You've got 6 feet and 7 inches of French loveness out there. There's no choice other than to throw it to Vive la France.
1st and goal from the 2. Under 7.5 to go. This to potentially tie the ball game. Pitch play, Colin Hart through the middle, denied by David Ware.
And now becomes the intestinal fortitude of Tulsa's defense to respond back. You know Minnesota's going to go run all 3 times. They're too close to the end zone to get there. They're going heavy set. Bring the house if you want to stop Colin Hart.
Trying to spread the field, expecting an outside run. Hart denied again, this time losing a yard.
That's 2 of 2 now, Tulsa. You've got 1 more, maybe 2 more chances. I'm not sure if Minnesota will go on 4th down with 6.5 left to go here. But nonetheless, this is Tulsa's chance to make their season if they can stop Minnesota here at the 1.
Offset eye, they go again, another stretch play. Colin Hart, he dives him! Touchdown, Minnesota!
And they take advantage of the turnover that Clay gives them and get down the field for the touchdown. Best case scenario for Minnesota to get this in the game now, because you know that Tulsa is wanting revenge after all this. Minnesota an extra point away from tying this game, and the crowd at Lucy Red is dead silent.
Here comes Mickey Melillo. The all-important extra point. Snap, spot, kick is up. It's straight down the pipe, and it's as you were. 23-23. It's all level with the Central Division on the line. And I can use some theme music because 8 p.m. music is unrivaled music to bring your stories to life, inspiring every production with the world's most robust and constantly refreshed music collection, state-of-the-art technology, and world-class customer service. 8 p.m. Music is the official soundtrack of the Simulation Football League. To explore their library and to find the perfect tracks for your projects, visit 8pmmusic.com. We have got a ball game here in Tulsa, partner, and it's going to come all the way down to the wire.
Cameron Irvine, Chris Curtis, Mike Deggs, that's the segue of the season. You got to highlight that. No one's going to get better than that right there. Now it's Tulsa's chance to respond after Minnesota had the best 3 minutes of their season so far. Can they respond in kind after Minnesota has brought the thunder?
After throwing an interception, how does JQ respond? They start with a run near side. Douglas Brown breaks out of one tackle, gains 7 yards, and it might just come down to who has the ball last. And we haven't seen a drive, Brett, last longer than the opening drive, which lasted 3 minutes and 31 seconds. So you're with that in mind, the ball will probably end up in Minnesota hands before the end of the game unless Tulsa do something different.
That's very true. We got to see what Tulsa brings to the table here, though.
Brown again on the give, but it's denied. He will lose a yard as he's brought down by Derek Meerkat. 3rd down here. We go back to Sioux Falls and Cameron Irvine.
Because we have to show you this, Tyler. This game is almost over, but Indianapolis on 4th and 9 says, you know what? We're going to fake the punt instead, and we're going to launch it and complete it. Indy's still in the ball game. Penalty on Sioux Falls. Back to you.
It's all popping off. Thank you, Cam. And on 3rd down, they can't convert. Miles Gibson with the tackle as Tulsa try and pull a rabbit out of the hat on a long run on 3rd down.
You have to question the choices made by Tulsa's offensive staff. By going with a run on 3rd down, you might be a little bit scared that JQ threw his 2nd interception, but you have to trust on him in scenarios like this.
And so here comes the punting unit for Tulsa. They give the ball back to Minnesota with 5:15 and ticking to go in regulation as Craig Mam gets the return started. And she will barrel her way up to the 43-yard line. And now Minnesota, who have scored on their last possession, can take the lead with another solid drive.
And you got to think from a Rick Meter perspective, momentum is fully in the hands of Minnesota. If they do not score on this drive, you have to question if Minnesota can actually win this game at all. This is the drive that needs to end in a score of some kind. They got to get points.
3 wide I formation for Reno as he changes the play at the line of scrimmage. Nickel look out of Tulsa on 1st down. Reno will look to pass. Looks near side of the corner route. That's got by Jay Taylor. 1st down inside the Tulsa 45.
And has been really good spreading of the wealth around from Johnny Reno. That is Jay Taylor's 4th target in this game. No receiver, aside from Quig Mam and Jay Hayden, have had less than 4 targets now in this game. You want to find your receivers at the right time. That is a key moment to get a quick 1st down.
Pitch play for Colin Hart. He tries to escape the tacklers, Jay Rock and others, but he's finally taken down by Berto Demora after a short 1-yard gain.
And you have to give credit to this Tulsa defense because they have completely neutralized Colin Hart as a running back. He's only had his touchdowns because he's been so close to the end zone. Take those away, you're looking at 20 carries for 65 yards. That is not like Colin Hart today.
2nd and 9 from the Tulsa 45. Another pitch played. This time it's the tight end France who gets out of one, but can't turn upfield quick enough. He gains a yard. David Ware is there, and it's 3rd down. Does Tulsa have another third down stop in their bag of tricks.
Yeah, and right now, if I'm Tulsa, I'm thinking they're passing it, and you've got two options: Jason France, or potentially they might go Jay Taylor's way. But I'm thinking it's either France or Kalia.
5 wide receivers. Blitz coming. Reno has to get rid of it. He finds Jay Taylor inside the 35-yard line. First down, legend.
And he's been the fourth quarter man so far, Jay Taylor, because he's getting open at the right time. And more importantly, Johnny Reno is staying composed in a tense and tight situation as this. Nice change of direction from Jay Taylor. Had some help with his crossing receiver to get Cameron Shaw out of the way to get that completion.
And I'm just getting word that Colin Pierce tried to roll out on 4th and goal and was sacked. It's a turnover on downs with less than 4 minutes to go in the fourth quarter. Sioux Falls still lead 31-14 even after the spectaculars on special teams. First down goes nowhere for Minnesota.
And they tried to throw something a little bit different by now getting Jason France on these toss plays. It's maybe worked out maybe once, maybe twice, but Tulsa has done a great job in shutting that down.
Under 3 minutes to go. Here in Tulsa, handoff Hart, left side, taken down again by Roberto, no gain. Third down.
And now we're back in this scenario that we were just before, just 11 yards closer for Minnesota. Can Tulsa step up defensively, stop the football, and maybe force a long field goal from Mickey Melillo?
3rd and 10. They're going to overload the near sideline with 4 of the 5 wideouts. Reno to throw. Passing to that near side. Caught by Deezer Powell inside the 20-yard line. First down from the red zone. Go the Minnesota Legend.
And here I thought they were going to overload that right side because they wanted to leave France alone on the left, maybe go on a one-on-one. But that is just a tasty option for Johnny Reno to throw at. Deezer Powell can be clutch at any moment, any given moment. Deezer Powell can bail out a team or he can make moments. 2-minute warning here in Tulsa.
2 to go. Who will be crowned the Central Division champion? We're about to find out. 23-23 with Minnesota in the red zone. 2 minutes to go here in Tulsa. About 2 minutes to go in Sioux Falls. As things stand, the Indianapolis Ramblers will fall to Sioux Falls, which means the winner here in Tulsa becomes the Central Division champions and will claim the final spot in the SFL postseason as the number 12 seed with a below 500 record for the first time since these new divisions were established.
And right now, if Minnesota can cap off this drive with some points, they're at the advantage right now, and we could potentially see a 4-8 team as the 12 seed.
So Minnesota did call their Tulsa called their first of 3 timeouts. Reno goes through the middle and gains his way up. It'll be 3rd and short. Tulsa called their second timeout. They are 2 yards and another timeout away for letting Minnesota take control of this game.
Yeah, and we got to forget about those first 3 quarters of third down efficiency. Minnesota 3 of 4 in this fourth quarter on getting these first downs in scenarios like this. Can they do it one more time?
I formation here for Minnesota. 8 men in the box for Tulsa. Minnesota run. Taken down by Roberto. They stop him again on 3rd and short. And Minnesota have to try for a field goal.
Yeah, and that's all they're going to settle for at this point. It's going to be a relative chip shot for Mickey Melillo, but you have to remember, we've seen a scenario before where Melillo has stoinked it from up close, but with this being down the center of the hash, there should be a good chance this mates.
That field goal is straight down Main Street. Minnesota gains 3. It is now 26-23. Legend with the lead and need to stop the Desperados on this ensuing possession.
And we have to remember the last time that Sioux Falls had a 2-minute drill in this game. Second quarter, it resulted in a touchdown. Can Tulsa do it one more time to send these fans home happy and ready for some playoff action in Oklahoma?
Here comes Gabriel Manning on the return. How dangerous has he been on the return game this season, as he's been all season long in seasons past. This time up to the 29-yard line, as Tulsa are 71 yards away from taking the lead and potentially punching their ticket to the playoffs as division title winners. For now, it's Minnesota who will go to the postseason, and they will be Central Division champions. This is for the title. This is for the postseason. Who makes the play? Who will live in this moment? Who will be remembered as the hero in season 21? 3 wideouts from play number 1. Pitch play right side. Douglas Brown goes nowhere. Gains nothing. They have to hurry back to the line, but they're going to just wait it out just a little bit longer.
Yeah, not a great formation to start. Not a good decision if I'm going to be honest here. You don't go with a toss play on first down. A toss play that has not worked all game.
2nd and 10. Only 2 wide receivers with under 120 seconds to go. Pitch, near side, caught. Gabe Manning beyond the 40-yard line, and they're still not hurrying it up.
They might be looking to change the formation one more time so that they can maybe have a different viewpoint, because 2 receivers and DJ Bandit is not enough. You got to get a couple more out there. At least get Sanzo involved. He is Captain Clutch out there.
3 wide, 52 seconds to go. Maybe they're just playing for a field goal and potentially overtime. Pitch play, right side, Brown to midfield. 9-yard pickup, still not hurrying it up.
I don't know what's going through the mind of Tulsa right now, but they need to have a sense of urgency from this offense here. They're quickly going through, but again,
they're
going to the heavy set.
Under 30 seconds to go, they're going to have to change something up here. 25 seconds to go, they're still taking their time. They're going to shuffle the play around. 15 seconds at the line of scrimmage and counting. 15 seconds to go. Handoff, Brown right side, looking for a block, looking for the sideline. He steps out of bounds with 9 seconds to go.
Oh man, this has been, I don't know how to describe it. It's just not what I envisioned Tulsa doing after being so great with these play calls through these 3 quarters, these last 37 minutes of the game, and now you decide to slow things down. You're not even at the 40-yard line with 9 seconds left. You got 1 play. You got to get it out of bounds so that Brooke Brown has a chance for a field goal.
9 seconds to go, no timeouts. If it's inbounds, the game is over. If they don't score here, JQ for the marbles passes middle. It is caught by Robinson with 4 seconds to go.
Not enough time.
Get back to the line, and Minnesota will take the Central Division as they capitalize on Tulsa's blushes. And for the first time in SFL history, a 4-18 will go to the SFL postseason. Chaos in season 21.
Exactly what it is. Chaos has ensued in the Central mess, and it ends with Minnesota with the least likely scenario getting a win for the first time in over 2 months. And what a way to win it. Tulsa potentially fumbling the bag here, giving Minnesota the victory, and now we're going to see the legend in the playoffs, and they are going to be in tough hands here because it might be some road games moving forward, the toughest road games they've seen all season. But Minnesota got into this scenario by getting the key field goal and having a fantastic 4th quarter performance all around, blanking Tulsa. You see it there in the 4th quarter. 10-0. 10 points was necessary for them. They got what they needed. Now it's moving on. Congratulations to Minnesota for winning the Central Mess, the Central Division.
And just like that, As the game wraps up in Sioux Falls, there's nothing that Indy or Sioux Falls can do about it except Sioux Falls shock Indy and take home the victory in that ball game, which gives Minnesota the division, as all 4 Central Division teams end the season with a 4-8 record, and the legend come out of the dog pile on top. Wow, what a conclusion. Here's Saturday night. Of course, later tonight we'll have a scenario show, but Brett, I think it's time we thank a few people and sign off. Brett, I'll let you have the floor.
Oh my lord, this has been a fantastic season through and through. I've been part of so many games, so many partners there. I want to thank, my 2 broadcast partners on my play-by-play. I had Eddie Gage and Anthony Ellison with me. I'd like to thank you, Tyler, for carrying me through this season here. I've had plenty of broadcasting partners I can't remember at this moment, but it's been a fantastic season. I cannot wait for the playoffs to start here.
A special thank you to Rochelle Colson and Justin Ristides in our stats truck tonight. A special thank you to all statisticians all season long. And a special shout out goes to our broadcasting director, Mike Daggs, and assistant broadcasting director, Chris Curtis, for doing an excellent job all season long. A special thank you to SFL Commissioner Cameron Irvine and Deputy Commissioner Andrew Rostelli for making an incredible product again for season 21. The new era has been phenomenal. And lastly but not leastly, thank you to everyone listening and watching at home. You have been fantastic all season. We will see you later this weekend, and we will see you in the postseason. But that is going to do it from your friendly Minnesotan and your friendly Canadian. I've been Tyler Falk. He's been Brett Solberg. We will see you in the postseason. Until then, good morning, good afternoon, and good night, ladies and gentlemen.
Boo-doo!